नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की हिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। In the beginning of his Bhakti Rasayanam, the devotee commentator Sri Harisuri expresses what is his only strength in speaking something about Bhagwan. He says, Saubhagyaspadam ekam asti mahila bhaleshu. For a lady who is married, there is one main indicator of her good fortune of marriage, and that indicator of her good fortune of marriage is present on her forehead. Does anybody know what is the yeah, kumkum. Saubhagyaspadam ekam asti mahila bhaleshu chet kumkumam. If she wears this one ornament, kumkuma, Saubhagya Pratipadanaya Tadalam, it is sufficient to denote her good fortune. Kim Tatra Bhushantarai. She really doesn't need any other ornaments because this one ornament makes her beautiful. Dear devotees, in Sanskrit, the term ornament is called, please repeat, alankar. So, this one alankar is sufficient for her because it denotes her good fortune. He says, Evam mat kavita. My speech is also similar. Pragal bhavanita. My speech is that bold lady who forgot to wear other ornaments. But in her eagerness, she is wearing only one ornament. And the second meaning of alankar is figure of speech or literary ornament in literature. So the only alankar that my speech is carrying, Shripati Bhushanam, that it is describing Bhagavan Shri Krishna. I don't care if other ornaments are there or not in my speech. So in this way, this is his bold proclamation about his own speech. And with this confidence that my speech may not have any other alankar, literary ornament, but simply because it is decorated with the kumkum, the ornament of the description of Sri Krishna. Therefore, I am hoping that it will be a success. Of course, dear devotees, there is somebody in this assembly who is the best of all. And today I would like to specify who is the best of all in the assembly. He has a nice verse in the meter, Shardul Vikriditam, same as Shad Goswami Ashtakam. I'll sing, please sing after me. Prithvi tavadiyam mahasumahati tadveshtanam varidhe tavadiyam mahasumahati tadveshtanam varidhe Pido Zaukalashodbhavena Munina Savyom Nighadhyodava Tadvishnurdhanujadinathadamane Purnam Padam Nabhava Devosau vasati tvadiyaradaye tvatodika kapara. So this is a verse by an anonymous author. He says, Prithvi Tavad Iyam Mahatsu Mahati. The greatest entity on planet Earth, dear devotees, he says, is Earth herself. Who is the greatest on Earth? Earth. There is nobody greater than Earth on Earth. Alright? Logically, this is correct. But there is somebody greater than Earth who covers the Earth. Tad Veshtanam Varidi. The oceans cover the Earth from all sides. Therefore, somebody is greater than the Earth. What is greater than the Earth? The oceans. But something is greater than the ocean. Pito sau kalashod bhavena. The sage who was born from a jar who drank the entire ocean in a single gulp. Does anybody know the name of the sage who drank the entire ocean in a single gulp? Agastya Muni. He is greater than even the oceans. But that Agastya Muni, Sa Vyomni Khadyotavat, he is just one of the 7 stars in the Ursa Major, in the Saptarishi, Big Dipper, as we call it, constellation. So this in the sky, he is just one of the stars. So please tell me, what is greater than Agastya Muni? The sky. But Tad Vishnu Danujadi Nath Damane Purnam Padam Nabhavat. But even the sky fell short in front of that personality who was raising his 2 feet above in the air. Who was that person, dear devotees? Vamandev, Bhagavan. So who is greater than the sky? Bhagavan is greater than the sky. But Devo Sau Vasati Tvadiya Hriday, but that same Bhagavan resides perfectly within the hearts of all of you. So please tell me who is the greatest? Bolo, bolo. So all of you are the greatest, dear devotees. Thank you for being present here. Please read the translation.
Among all great entities, the greatest is Mother Earth herself. The oceans are greater than her, but they completely cover her up from all directions.
Okay. Please.
Greater than the oceans is Agastya Muni, who drank up all the oceans in a single gulp. Yet, the same Agastya is merely a star in the vast open space. Thus, the space is greater than him. Yet, during the pastime of Ramana conquering Bali Maharaj, his entire space fell short in front of Vishnu, and hence it is Vishnu who is greater than even the space. However, O dear devotees, that same Vishnu now resides in your hearts, being completely contained within it. Tell me now, can there be anything else in the world greater than your hearts?
You tell me. Yes or no? Of course. Silence implies that all of you agree. Huh? Otherwise, you would have said a loud no. All right. So I think all of you agree that all of you are the greatest. Thank you, dear devotees, for making the event a success simply by your presence. So now you can feel a little bit uh, when you discuss poetry, especially devotional poetry, you feel the mood change. From Mati, we gradually switch to Rati. And gradually you start feeling the shift in the mood. And that is very nice because Krishna eva gatir mama. As Sri Vallabhacharya said, my only shelter is this universe created by the previous acharyas. The universe in which Sri Krishna, Sri Radha, all the associates of Bhagwan, our Guru Janas, Sri Giriraj Govardhan, Srimati Yamuna Maharani, all of them are residing in that universe. Sharanam Mama is my eternal shelter, the devotees. So, Maharaj is not here, but the first time I saw Maharaj was in 2012. And when he saw me, he caught my hand and said, are you Hari Parshad? I said, yes. So he said, have you made your tree house? So I said, I don't know what is a tree house. So he said, every German boy has to make a tree house. I said, but I am an Indian boy. So I don't have. So then he explained to me what is the meaning of a tree house. He said that every devotee should have a corner of their heart in which during the spare time of the day they should retreat and they should sit alone with their near and dear ones, Bhagwan, Gurujanas, and those Vaishnavas who are dear to them. It's like a tree house. In the childhood, a tree house is made on top of a tree, and only the child is given the key of the tree house, and then the child, along with a few friends, have their own private time in the tree house. You said you should build your tree house. So then I had, in my childhood, I had experienced something similar. That in the village we used to have one room on the top floor, which was usually not visited much by anybody. So sometimes we would sit there and then look out in the open sky and think about what is the purpose of life. so, so that is, so I understand the essential feeling behind a tree house. I said, yes, Maharaj, I'll take your word seriously. I'll try to build a tree house. But I'm trying since many years. But I understood that it's a very difficult process to build a tree house. It's not easy and it's not for everybody. But still, better to have loved and lost rather than never have loved at all. This is the motto of my life. So, in this way, dear devotees, we must try. Failure is better than not trying. This is what we should understand. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan gives a very sweet verse in his Sahitya Kaumudi. Please sing after me. Nadinam cha vadunam cha bhujanganam cha sarvada premnam api gatirvakra karanam tatra neshyate. Prabhu, can you kindly read the translation?
The course of a river, the moods of a young maiden, the movements of a serpent, and the pathways of Prema. All these are always crooked in nature, and there is no particular reason behind it.
Yeah, don't try to find a reason. Nadi namcha, a river, dear devotees, does it flow in a straight line? Does Bhagwan make rivers in a straight line? From the mountain to the ocean? Or do rivers flow crooked? Please tell me. Crooked. Vadhuna amcha, and a young girl, teenager, who is just growing up, how is her pattern of moods? Very straightforward or crooked? Please tell me. Crooked. Yeah, yeah, don't be shy. Huh? It is truth. Satyam. Huh? Satyam. So, Satyam. So, it is not very straightforward because the mood swings are going on, and life is, of course, difficult for everybody. But especially for a girl who is growing up, the mood swings are often. So, Bhujanganam. And for a serpent, the movement is crooked. And similarly, Premnamapi. For Prema also, the movement is crooked. Karanam tatra neshyate. Don't try to find any reason behind it. This is what Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan says in his Sahitya Kaumudi. We return back to Prema Pattanam, the city of love. The author Sri Rasikottam sir says something. Please repeat after me. Yatra sukham eva dukkham. Yatra sukham eva dukkham. So the translation is Yatra, in the city of Prema, sukham, so called happiness, is actually distress. And what is the meaning of so called happiness? See, I could have literally translated sukham as happiness, but the intention of the author is not happiness. So called happiness is distress. And what is so called happiness? There are two types. First is material pleasure, and second is the pleasure of merging in impersonal Brahman. So, in the city of Prema, these two varieties of happiness are actually great distress. First and foremost is the happiness of material enjoyment. And for a devotee, gradually, material enjoyment starts losing its taste if, and it's a big if, they are following the path with a proper attitude. That's very important. And what is the meaning of proper attitude? The meaning of proper attitude is that they are using genuine bhakti yoga in order to make progress instead of ashtanga yoga, vairagya, gyan, etc. Because there are some individuals who think that renunciation, cultivation of knowledge of Vedanta, etc., and first I will fully detach myself from the material world, and then I will separately make progress on the path of Bhakti Yoga. So, this sort of an attitude is not appreciated by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It is genuine practice of Bhakti Yoga which drives away all taste for material enjoyment. And gradually, material enjoyment starts appearing like a burden to the devotee who has that proper attitude. Is a wonderful verse from the Padyavali. This verse was originally composed by Sri Sarvagya. Hare Krishna Maharaj, welcome. We were speaking about a tree house and remembered you.
I'm very sorry. Please excuse me. Please excuse me.
So, in this universe of prema, so called happiness is what is so called happiness, dear devotees? Distress. And gradually, the devotee is progressing on the path. Such a devotee has a nirbandha. And sometimes I have explained the term nirbandha. This term occurs in the definition of yukta vairagya. अनासक्तस्य विषयान् यथार्हम् उपयुञ्जतः निर्बन्धः कृष्ण संबंधे युक्तम वैराग्यम उच्यते. What is the meaning of the term nirbandha? Nirbandha means that the sole purpose of life is to get into a relationship with Krishna. Nirbandha means that your entire life is driven by this particular desire, that is called nirbandha. Sometimes nirbandha is translated as eagerness, but eagerness is a very mild term to describe nirbandha. Nirbandha actually means, and I'll give an example of what nirbandha is. Suppose there is a person who has a lot of weight, and often people body shame them for having a lot of weight. And one fine day, somebody again pokes fun at them, and they become extremely offended because people are making fun of them being overweight. So that day, they decide either I'll lose weight or I'll die. There is no third way. So from that day onwards, their life is centered around one thing: losing weight. So this determination is called as nirbandha. Now wherever they walk, they don't see food, they see calories. The entire worldview changes. So such a determination which changes your entire worldview has one technical name in Sanskrit, and what is that technical name? Nirbandha. So this nirbandha, as soon as a devotee develops, sense enjoyment cannot stand in front of them. This nirbandha is very important. And for those who are thinking that Krishna Bhakti is part-time activity, after I am done with my material life, if I have a few hours remaining in the day, then I'll look into it. then nirbandha is yet to be attained, dear devotees. So, even though one may be working in the material world, nirbandha is there in the subconscious mind, and it keeps poking you that there is something remaining to be attained. And that feeling is called nirbandha. And I gave you the example, please remember this example of a person who has been body shamed and now who has the determination, either I will lose weight or I will die. There is no third way. This is called nirbandha. So, a devotee who develops such a nirbandha on the path of Krishna bhakti, that devotee starts losing taste in material enjoyment. Srila Rupa Goswami compiles this verse in the Padyavali, originally by the author Sri Sarvagya. Meter of the verse is Shardul Vikriditam. I'll sing, please repeat after me. त्वद्भक्तः सरितां पदिं जुलुकवत् खद्योतवद्भास्करम् मेरुं पश्यति लोष्ट्रवत् किमपरं भूमेः पतिं भृत्यवा चिन्तारत्नचयं शिलाशकलवत् कल्पद्रुमं काष्ठवत् संसारं तृणराशिवत् किमपरं देहं निजं भारवत् So it is described by Sri Sarvagya. This verse is from the Padyavali. Tvad bhakta, Bhagavan, your devotees, Saritam patim chulukavat. If you take them near an ocean and you say, look how beautiful the ocean is, isn't the world beautiful to gaze at? So chulukavat, they look upon the ocean as water in the palm. They say, what is the difference? That is also water. This is also water. I don't see anything specifically very nice about looking at oceans. Khadyotavad bhaskaram. And even if you give them the entire sun planet, they consider it as insignificant as a firefly. Merum pashyati loshtravat. If you give them the entire Meru mountain full of gold, they are not worried about it, they don't bother about it, they look upon it just as a lump of earth. The reason being that these things no longer interest them. Kimaparam. What more to say? Bhumehe patim bhrityavat. If you take them to meet the king, they look upon the king as another servant. Because they understand, although he is externally pretending to be a king, he is the one who has to render the greatest amount of service in the entire kingdom. Actually, everybody else is free. This person is the real servant. Chinta Ratna Chayam. And if you give them precious jewels all the way up to Chintamani, Shila Shakalavat, when they look at gems and diamonds, they feel them to be as insignificant as ordinary rocks. The only thing is that these rocks are slightly rare, therefore, there is a price put upon them, nothing else. Kalpa Drumam Kashthavat, and even a Kalpa Vriksha tree. If they approach a Kalpa Vriksha tree, they have nothing to ask. So, for them, a Kalpa Vriksha tree is nothing but wood. Because they know if I ask anything, I am sowing the seeds of further misery in life. What more to say? Samsaram Trinarashivat. The entire world appears to them to be as insignificant as blades of grass. And Kimaparam, what more to say? Deham Nijam. Sometimes their own body, Bharavat, appears heavy to them. Their own body appears like a burden to them. So this is the gradual effect of practicing the genuine path of rati, that you start losing taste in the enjoyments of the world, and then externally you may mix with the world, but internally you are somewhere else, because you know your nirbandha is already there. And once your nirbandha is there, gradually you will start having this feeling. May not be to the same degree that is described in the verse, but most of you can understand what sort of a feeling a devotee starts having in relationship with the material world. Here is the translation. Kindly read. Prabhu.
Your devotees look upon the ocean as a palm full of water, the sun as a mere firefly, the golden Meru mountain as a lump of earth, an emperor as a mere servant, a heap of chintamani jewels as fragments of rock, the wish-fulfilling kalpavriksha trees as a mere log of wood, the whole world as a heap of straw, and in your absence or in separation from you, they regard even their own bodies as needless burden.
So this is where sukha, happiness, is great distress. Now this is the happiness that Shri Rasikottamsa was speaking about. There were two varieties of happiness that I mentioned. First is material happiness of sense pleasure, and there is another happiness which I mentioned. Does anybody remember which was that? Impersonal liberation. So regarding impersonal liberation, there is a very nice verse by Shri Ishwar Puri in the Padyavali. And this verse is, Sri Ishwar Puri is the guru of Bhagavan himself. And Sri Ishwar Puri, it is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that his heart was always unsettled due to separation from Sri Krishna. He could not stay at one place, and therefore he would constantly keep traveling from one place to another searching for Sri Krishna. At one point of time in Kashi, in Varanasi, somebody asked him, "You are Ishwar Puri, you have taken sannyas in the Shankar Sampradaya, in the Sampradaya of Sri Adi Shankaracharya. You should be reading Vedanta, sitting in one place, and trying to meditate upon the Mahavakyas, the great statements of the Upanishads." What are the great statements of the Upanishads, dear devotees? Will you repeat after me? Yes? Tattvamasi sarvam khalu idam brahma aham brahmasmi pragyanam brahma. I meditate on these Mahavakyas of Upanishads. What are you doing, like a madman traveling here and there? If you are serious about liberation, stay at one place and meditate on the words of Vedanta. This Krishna Bhakti and all of this is good, but this emotional thing will not save you. This is what the impersonalist at Kashi told Sri Ishwar Puri. So Ishwar Puri said, "Yeah, yeah, okay, okay. You continue. My best wishes to you." Huh? And he continued on his path. Often he would hear similar arguments from other sannyasis. One fine day, he wrote down a verse as an answer to all of them combined. So here is Sri Ishwar Puri's answer to all the impersonalists who want that particular happiness. The verse is in the meter Shardul Vikriditam, same as the previous verse. Kindly sing after me. Yoga Shrutyubabadhi Nirjana Vana Dhyanadva Sambhavita Swarajyam Pradibadya Nirbhayamami Mukta Bhavantu Dvija. अस्माकं तु कदम्बकुञ्जकुहर ब्रोन्मीलदिन्दीवर श्रेणीश्यामलधाम नाम जुषतां जन्मस्तु लक्षावधे So in the second line at the end, you can see Dvija. Dvija. All Brahmanas, all sannyasis who are coming to me, I am telling you one thing. You can follow your respective process. The first is yoga, Ashtanga yoga. If you wish to follow Ashtanga yoga, please follow it. Shruti Upapatti. If you wish to study Vedanta, Shrutis, study it. Nirjana Vana. If you want to reside in a solitary place in the forest, please go ahead and reside. Dhyana. If you wish to meditate, please do that. Adva. If you wish to travel to various places of pilgrimage for finding impersonal liberation, please do so. Sambhavita. It is definitely possible, and Shastra also says Swarajyam Pratipadya, that you will attain this liberation, merge into Brahman. Nirbhayam Ami, you will become fearless. Mukta, you will become liberated. Bhavantu, all of you get liberated. I don't care. What do you want? Asma Kamtu, for myself, however, I want something. Then he composes a long Sanskrit term. It did not fit in one line. Kadamba Kunja Kuhara Pronmilad Indivara Shreni Shyamal Dhama Nama. This is the term he composed. It could not fit in one line. So his poetic intelligence begins here. Alright. So when you translate such a long term, you have in English you have to go from right to left in the opposite direction, because English works in the opposite way of Sanskrit while translation. Alright. So we will go from in the reverse direction. The first term is Nam. For us, there is the Naam of Shyamal Dham, of a person who is the abode of dark beauty. And what sort of a dark beauty? Shreni. This dark beauty is like a collection of Indivara, blue lotuses. Pronmilad. And these blue lotuses are glowing in the dark. In Kuhara, in the deep forest of kunjas of Kadamba trees. So, dear devotees, for myself, however, I want that Naam of that person who is glowing like a host of blue radiant lotuses deep inside the forest under a Kadamba tree. Okay. That person's Naam, Jushatam, while suckling upon. Like you drink a juice, Jusatam, huh? So juice, Jusatam, huh? Jushatam. Janma astu lakshavadi. May I spend millions of lives in this manner. This is what I want. So, all of you get liberated. All right? I will stay behind. This is Sri Ishwar Puri. Here is the translation.
The twice born can achieve personal liberation by the practice of yoga, study of Vedas, solitary meditation in the forest, and visiting holy places. And let them become liberated in that way. As for us, we will spend hundreds of thousands of birds chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna, whose splendid dark bluish complexion, glowing at a distance in a grove of Kadamba trees, is like a host of radiant bluish lotus flowers.
So, when you sing the original and word by word that image forms in your mind, oh my goodness, there is no feeling compared to it. Well, let's sing the last two lines together. First two lines we can neglect because those are not for us. Last two lines we can, let's sing together the last two lines. And in your mind, try to draw the painting, try to chew upon the words as they are being sung. Right? Asmakam tu kadamba kunja kuhara Pronmiladindivara Shreni Shamal Dham Nam Jusata Janmastu Lakshavadhi. This, dear devotees, is why so-called happiness is great distress for us devotees, followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As I said, I am not strictly following the verses given in the Prema Pattanam. I am following the essential message, but some verses I giving from myself which are exactly in line with the message that he is giving. Because personal preference, Padyavali, I love Padyavali verses, and there are many verses which fit the same mood, the devotees. Anyways, there is also a another verse about distressful liberation in the Padyavali, and this verse is in the same meter. This is one of those knock knock who's there verses. All right, so I'll sing. Please repeat after me. का त्वं मुक्तिरुपागतास्मि भवति कस्मादकस्मादिह श्रीकृष्णस्मरणेन देव भवति दासी पदं प्रापिता दूरे तिष्ठमनागनागसि कथं कुर्यादनार्यं मयि त्वद्गन्धान्निजनामचन्दनरसालेपस्य लोपो भवेत् चन्दनरसा So one day our Prahlad Narasimha Prabhu, I can make you an example. Okay, he's my friend. He won't take offense. Right? One day our Prahlad Narasimha Prabhu is chanting his japa nicely in his room and in his treehouse. And suddenly there is a knock on the door.
Who's there?
Wonderful. So that. So the verse is Katvam. Who are you? So from the other side, he says, please open the door. Muktir, I am Mukti. Upagatasmi, I have come to you, Prahlad Narasimha Prabhu. Then he says, Bhavati Kasmad Akasmad. Suddenly, how come you are here today? I was waiting for many years. How? Then she says, Shri Krishna Smaranena, Dev, oh my Lord, by your smaran of Shri Krishna, Bhavati Dasi Padam Prapita. I have now come today to become your Dasi. Now he is very intelligent. He knows she has come as Dasi, but she will not remain as Dasi. As soon as he opens the door, she will take over his entire life and merge him in the impersonal Brahman. Dure Tishta. Stay away. Manag Anagasi Katham. Kuryad Anaryam. I am Arya Purush. I am a gentleman. Why are you laughing? Yeah. you are Arya Purush, okay? I am Arya Purush. I am a gentleman. Katham Anagasi Mai Kuryat. Why are you dragging a person like me into this pit of sin? It's not a pit of sin. I am come here to liberate you. You can become one with that absolute truth today, right now. Just open the door. Will you open the door, Prabhu? No. Tvad Gandhan. If I open the door even a little bit and a tiny scent of you enters, Nija Nama Chandana Rasa, my Guru applied the Chandan paste on my body of my name. And in my name, he gave the beautiful Chandan paste. He wrote something Das. And as soon as a little scent of yours enters me, that Das will be completely wiped off my body. So I will never open the door for you. So did Prahlad Narasimha Prabhu open the door? No. Should he open the door? No. All right, so wonderful. Therefore, he is Arya Purush. Here is, so we are going to do conversation. All right. So I will become Mukti, and you become Prahlad Narsimha, which you are already.
Who's there?
I am Mukti, impersonal liberation.
How come you're here suddenly?
Dear devotee, by your remembrance of Sri Krishna, I have decided to become your dasi, your maid servant.
Away! Stay away! Why do you turn to a completely faultless person, as myself, into a wretched soul? Simply by a tiny scent of you, the fragrant sandalwood paste of my own identity as Das will be completely lost.
So, dear devotees, this is Prahlad Narsimha Prabhu's. Is this your humility? Yesterday, we saw what is humility, dear devotees. So humility sometimes is to take such a bold position. That is the humility of a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Anyways, wonderful. He looks upon all distress, all liberation as distress. Srila Rupa Goswami says, forget about impersonal liberation. Take all five varieties of liberation. Anybody knows the names of the five varieties of liberation? Sarupya, Salokya, Samipya, Sarashti, Sayojya. Alright? Five types of liberation are there. Srila Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Atra tyajya tayayivokta mukti pancha vidhapi che सालोक्यादिस्तथाप्यत्र भक्त्या नाति विरुध्यते. Sri Rupa Goswami says, Atra, in this literature that I am writing, which literature is Sri Rupa Goswami writing? Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Tyajyataya eva ukta. I have told you to give up. Tyag. What have I asked you to give up? Mukti. And how many types of mukti? Panchavidha. How many types of mukti, dear devotees? Five types. Which means the Vaishnava liberations are also included. Which means we should not aspire for any liberation, including Vaishnava liberation. So then let's stay in the material world forever, happily. But Sri Rupa Goswami says, Salokya Adis Tathapi, but four out of these five. Which four? Which are not impersonal. There's only one impersonal liberation, and what is the technical name of that? Sayojya. The remaining four, Tathapi, still, Bhaktya na ati virudhyate. Look at the attitude, they are not very unfavorable to bhakti. I hope you are able to understand what he's saying. They're not very unfavorable to bhakti. In other words, if they are assistants to rati, we can optionally think about accepting them. This is the attitude of the Gaudiya Vaishnava. So this is what Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada says.
Although all five types of liberation are spoken as being worthy of rejection in this text, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, still, the four types of liberation, example, Salokya, etc., are not very unfavorable towards bhakti.
Yeah. Not very, he could have said are favorable towards bhakti. But instead of saying something positive, he said they're not very unfavorable towards bhakti. So this is the attitude of the Gaudiya Vaishnava. Liberation can wait. Our first job is rati. Let's find some genuine prema for Bhagavan. Liberation will come automatically and it will knock on your door. And if it is of the impersonal variety, you do what Prahlad Narsimha Prabhu did. And if it is one of the four types, then you ask her a question. Will you facilitate my seva like a dasi, or will you become my swamini? Who are you? So if she says, I will remain like your dasi, all right, then I will think, okay, of opening the door, not otherwise. So this is the attitude of the Gaudiya Vaishnava. That is very clear words. So happiness, material happiness is definitely distress. But spiritual happiness, which is derived from hearing the pastimes of Bhagavan, oh, that is a different variety of happiness for us. All those pastimes of Bhagavan in the spiritual world, beginning from the pastimes of the first glance that Sri Radha and Krishna had at each other, those pastimes are very sweet to hear and remember. Different devotees describe the first meeting of Sri Krishna in different ways. And of course, in different universes, the pastimes take place in different ways. And of course, all those pastimes of the realized pure devotees are valid and bona fide for us by one principle, Atidesh. Why? Because all those pastimes have occurred in the spiritual world, and a small sample set of those pastimes takes place in a particular material world. And we can't restrict ourselves to a small sample set of those pastimes that have occurred only within our material world. Otherwise, the pastimes of Radha and Krishna will become like the pastimes of ordinary men and women in this world, that after some time they become appear stale to you because there is no newness remaining in the pastimes. Therefore, in the universe of Kavya, in the universe of devotional poetry, Prema has this nature that it appears Navanavayaman, it appears newer and newer at every instance. And therefore, the devotees see those pastimes in newer and newer ways. And the same pastime is described by various individuals in various ways. Especially the acharyas love to remember the pastimes of when Sri Radha and Krishna first grew up together and started glancing at each other. And when they glanced at each other for the first time after growing up, the feeling was something different. And this feeling cannot be explained using any language. There is one technical term for it. Please repeat, it is called Purvarag. Purvarag is the feeling that a lover and a beloved have when they first glance at each other, and suddenly in the first after the first glance the butterflies start flying in the stomach. I don't know how to express it in better words, right? So those of you who have experienced. Those of you who are not experienced, my best wishes, right? so 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 Purva Rag is that feeling. A replica of Purva Rag is also present in the material world, but the original Purva Rag comes from Goloka Vrindavan. So Sri Radha and Krishna, as they are growing up, when they first glance at each other, suddenly there is that attraction towards each other. But there is that hesitation in meeting each other because society is a big obstacle. Society stands in the way of both of them meeting each other, and this obstacle is extremely necessary in order for the love to sweeten. I hope you are able to understand. This is the crooked nature of Prema. In the material world, if you allow anything to flow freely, its volume increases. But Prema is such, if you put obstacles in it, it increases. I hope you are able to understand. Therefore, Prema has Vakragati, it has crooked nature. It doesn't walk in a straightforward manner. This first glance is described by Sri Kavi Karnapur in Alankar Kaustubh. The wonderful verse from the Alankar Kaustubh which describes the first glance that Sri Radha had towards Sri Krishna. One fine evening, she was walking on the banks of the Yamuna, and that is her designated place to walk, by the way. It is traditionally her designated place to walk. One fine day, this person was standing under a kadamba tree and playing on the flute, and he was standing there with a purpose because today he had some aim to achieve. And then she glanced at him for the first time, and when she glanced at him, suddenly he gave her a sidelong glance. And Sri Rupa Goswami also says this, that he gave her a sidelong glance. Now, the descriptions of the various devotee authors are slightly different in what Sri Radha felt at that particular point of time. This verse is in the meter Shardul Vikriditam, same as Shad Goswami Ashtakam. I'll sing, please repeat after me. नो वा द्रष्टचरे न वा श्रुतचरे नामापि न ज्ञायते यस्या काचन साव्यलोकी विपिने मेघद्युतिर्देवता आनन्दद्रववर्षिण किमथवा हालाहलोल्लासिन सौहृद्यं च रुजं च नो विदधते यस्या कटाक्षोर्मय So suddenly he gave her a very crooked sidelong glance. She was a little timid. She got ashamed, afraid. She ran back home and she sat in her home and heavy breathing. So after some time, some Sakhi came and asked, "So what is happening to you? Is everything okay?" She said, "Yeah, yeah, it's okay." No, no, something wrong has happened. Tell me. So she said, "I'll tell you. No va drishtachari. I don't think I have seen him any time before." Now, dear devotees, she has seen him many times before. It's not that she has not seen him before. She has seen him many times before. As I told you, Yoga Maya has the nature of making this person appear fresh each and every time you look at him. So she said, "No va drishtachari. I never saw him before. Nava shrutachari. Never had I heard of him. Nama pi na gya. I don't even know his name. Really? Yasya kachana sa vyaloki vipine. In deep within the forest, I saw Megha Dyutir Devata. He was like a Devata, having the effulgence of a dark cloud." So nice, you got darshan of Devata. You must have paid your pranam. Ananda Drava Varshina Kimathava Hala Halollasina. Suddenly he gave me a crooked sidelong glance. In the last line, you can see Kataksha Urmay, Kataksh, sidelong glance. I don't know this Devata, his sidelong glance, it was full of two things. Ananda Drava Varshina, full of the most pristine nectar, and Hala Halollasina, full of the deadliest of poisons. And together, see dear devotees, there is a hidden indication behind it. The white portion of the eyes is compared to nectar. The black portion of the eyes is compared to poison. I hope you're able to understand. So he looked at me, and since that time, Sauhityam cha rujam cha. I am feeling healthy and unhealthy at the same time. I don't know what to do. I am gaining health as well as I am feeling diseased at the same time. I don't know how to describe this feeling to you. This is the effect of his sidelong glance. Now, here is the translation.
Never before had I seen him, nor had I heard of him. But today in the forest I had a vision of the deity whose luster is like a glowing dark cloud. Even now the waves of his sidelong glances, which shower the nectar of bliss, and at the same time emit the deadliest halahala poison, are providing me with both satisfaction and pain simultaneously.
In this world, there is no love of this variety. Please don't try to find any love of this variety in this world. You won't be able to find. Because the people of this world don't know what Prema is. And if in a single sentence I can specify what Prema is the capability to sacrifice one's happiness for the happiness of somebody else. That is what Prema is actually. And most people in this world don't have the heart to have Prema. They are looking for somebody who can fit in their checklist. And once every he ticks all the points on my checklist, or she ticks all the points on my checklist, then I love you and you love me, and we lived happily ever after. Does it happen? It doesn't happen, because any prema, which any so-called relationship which begins on such a note, is doomed to failure from the very beginning. The seed of failure was planted in the very beginning, because there were a lot of conditions, and every condition sooner or later faces some violation, and any violation of any condition spoils the taste of the attraction that they initially had for each other. So, dear devotees, this is something which can only be experienced in relationship with the Leela of Sri Sri Radha Krishna. And therefore, I have to make this demarcation very specifically, that only in the universe of devotional poetry are such pastimes possible, and only in the spiritual world, because from the spiritual world this devotional poetry comes within the hearts of the devotee poets, and it is expressed to all of us. So therefore, and this prema is such that it is devoid of any material suffering. So when Sri Radha is speaking like this, she is not suffering materially. Some people say, oh, she suffered so much for Krishna, and Krishna is so cruel, we should have a petition for justice to Sri Radha, like this. So please, you can keep your petitions in the material world, okay? Because this is not a domain for that. If you are not a rasik, you will engage in everything else but rasa, all right? But an expert poet is somebody who can elevate the material into the divine, and a poor poet is somebody who brings down the divine into the profane. So please be an expert rasik. Don't try to bring the divine on the platform of the profane, the mundane. So we should not look at this lila with the lens of social codes, norms, and that we have grown up with. Because only after giving up all of this will we be able to have some sort of an entry into this universe. Otherwise, we will always look at it with our lens, and then, is Krishna in our box, or are we in Krishna's box? This question arises. So please think about it, and then we can move ahead. Anyways, after looking at him, she was not, she was a little shaken at heart. Uh, a few times she visited the banks of the Yamuna to have a look at him from a distance. Sometimes she would have a dream of him. The first dream is described by Sri Kavi Karnapur in Alankar Kaustubh. So this is Swapne Darshanam. Purvarag, attraction by seeing in the dream. The meter of the verse is Vasanta Tilakam. I'll sing, please sing after me. Indivaraadapi sukomalamindranila Indivaraadapi sukomalamindranila Apyujvalam jaladharadapi meduram ta Swapna sagim sagimaho yadaho mamedam Adyapino nayanayo padavim jahati. So, one particular night she saw a dream of him, and she saw him within the dream. And as she was gazing upon him within the dream, suddenly she woke up. And after waking up, she is speaking to herself. Indi varadapi sukomalam. This person was softer than a blue lotus. Indra niladapi ujvalam. And he was brighter than a blue sapphire. Jaladharadapi meduram. And his body appeared very delicate, softer than a fresh rain cloud. Swapna Sakim, was it a dream? Saki Maho, addressing herself as her own Saki. Mamedam adyapi no nayanoyo padavim jahati. Even after waking up, the entire room seems to be filled with this bluish glow. I don't know whether it was a dream or whether he came in reality. This, dear devotees, is Purvarag in Swapna, in a dreaming state. Please read.
I saw him, softer than a blue lotus, brighter than a blue sapphire, softer than a fresh rain cloud. Was that effulgent personality a dream of mine? His effulgent impressions are not leaving my eyes even after waking up.
So I showed you an image of this particular personality yesterday. You can see again what she saw in the dream, similar to this she saw in her dream, and after waking up also she is seeing the remaining blue effulgence of that particular personality that she saw. Dear devotees, next evening she again heard the flute of this particular personality, and she was eager to move out. Suddenly her friend Vishaka Saki came and said that there are many obstacles. It is better not to head out today. In response to Sri Vishaka Saki, Srimati Radharani says something. This verse is in the meter Shardul Vikriditam, same as Shad Goswami Ashtakam. Can we sing together, dear devotees? All right, let's sing together. Satyam jalpasi dussaha khalagira, Satyam kulam nirmalam, Satyam nishkarunopyayam sahachara, Satyam sudure sarit, Tatsarvam sakhin smarami jhatiti, श्रोत्रातिधिर्जायते चेदुन्माद मुकुंद मंजु मुरली निस्वान रागोद्गति. Satyam Jalpasi Vishakha, you are absolutely correct. Dussaha Khalagira. The words of the elderly family members are very difficult to tolerate. I 100% agree. When I leave the home late in the evening, these family members, they speak many cruel words to me. Where are you going? When will you return back? Satyam Kulam Nirmalam. It is also a fact that my family lineage is very pristine. Satyam, it is also a fact. Nishkarunopyayam, this person is extremely cruel hearted. Sahachara, Satyam Sudure Sarit, it is also true that the Yamuna is far away. But all of these things are true, but Tat Sarvam, all of this, Sakhi, O Vishakha, Nismarami Jhatiti, I quickly forget. As soon as Shrotratithir Jayate, somebody becomes a guest in my ears. And what becomes a guest in my ears? Then there is a long term in the end. Chedun Mad Mukunda Manju Murali Niswana Ragodgati. It's a single term. Unmada Mukunda Manju Murali Niswana Ragodgati. The Raga, Udgati, the arising of that Raga. Raga has two meanings. One is the Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni. 7 scales on the Raga. So that Raga arising, and second meaning of Raga is deep attachment arising from Niswan, the sweet play of Murali, which is Manju, very sweet, of that personality. And what is the name of that personality? Mukunda. So as soon as that intoxicating fifth note of Raga emanating from his flute becomes a guest within the courtyard of my ears, At that time, whatever you have said, I completely forget. So this is, dear devotees, the expression of Sri Radha. Here is the translation. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you read the translation from here? Yes.
Saki, you speak the truth. It is true that the harsh rebukes of my superiors are very hard to bear. It is true that my family's reputation is spotless. It is true that this friend, Krishna, is merciless. It is true that Yamuna is very far away. Still, when the beautiful, intoxicating sounds emanating from his flute become a guest in my ears, I immediately forget all of this.
The devotee is unable to meet him frequently. She becomes deeply pained at heart. Pain is the real happiness in this world. In Prema Pattanam, this pain is the real joy. And I'll explain. I won't get up today without explaining how suffering is the biggest joy in this particular universe. So, this is my promise, I'll explain to you. But she goes and sits alone. And at that particular point of time, dear devotees, we will take a break from Sanskrit. We'll go to the sweet language of the poet Chandidas. Chandidas describes her condition at this particular point of time. There's a wonderful song by the favorite poet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Kavi Chandidas. Please sing after me. राधा की हलो अंतर व्यथा की हलो अंतर व्यथा राधा की हलो अंतर व्यथा बसिया बिरले थके कले न सुने कहार कथा So Sri Chandidas says Radha ki hailo antare vyatha. What is disturbing Sri Radha's mind? Basiya Birale, sitting alone, Thakaye Ekale, in a solitary place, Na Shune Kahar Katha. She doesn't listen to anyone or anything now. So what does she do? Sadai deyane chahe mega pane न जले नयन तारा विरधि आहरे रंगवज बरे जमन योगिनी पारा Sadai Dhyane, she is always meditating. Chahe megh pane, like a chatak bird, she looks at the dark cloud and wants to drink the dark cloud. There is symbolic poetry, dear devotees. Hmm? Like a chatak bird, she looks at the dark cloud and wants to drink the dark cloud. Na chale nayan tara, her eye, the iris of her eyes doesn't move at all. It constantly looks at the sky towards the dark cloud. Virati ahare, she stopped eating. Rangavasa pare, wears reddish colored cloth, like ascetics wear. Jamana yogini para, like a big yogini she wears.
Like a Chataka bird, she always meditates upon drinking the nectar from the dark cloud, Sham. Such is her meditation that her eyes don't move a bit. Rejecting food and wearing a saffron cloth, she appears just like a great yogi.
Yeah, saffron cloth worn by Sri Radha, isn't it? The devotees appears like a great yogini. The devotees, This is the same mood that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed in his sannyas. His sannyas is not for renunciation. I hope you are able to understand. This is the sannyas of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's very importantly indicated here. He loved Chandidas because Chandidas was speaking about his life. Chandidas was showing a mirror to Bhagwan in almost every poetry. Therefore, Bhagwan loves Chandidas. Elaiya veni phuler gathune degaye khashai chuli hasida bayane jai chandra pane ki gahe du haath tule. Elaiya Veni, suddenly she starts undoing her braids because that is also dark colored. Phuler Ganthuni takes away all the flowers. She wants to look at that perfect darkness. She wants to find that darkness. Dekha hai khasha hai chuli and looks at her loosened hair. You can see in the painting. Hasita Bayane sometimes looks at the moon again and laughs. Chahe Chandra Pane and wants to, considering the moon to be similar to the face of that person, wants to drink the moon. Ki kahe duhat tuli. God knows what she blabbers by raising both her hands at that particular point of time. This is Unmad, dear devotees, the stage of madness.
Unraveling her braids and removing the flowers from her hair, she looks at her loosened hair. The smiling face, she then looks at the moon, Krishna. Who knows what she babbles while raising her hands?
Ekadidikari mayura mayuri kanthakara nirikshana Chandidas ka nava parichaya kaliya bandhurasane. Kaliya bandhurasane. Ek dithi kari mayur mayuri. Single pointedly, the peacock and the peahen, kantha kare nirikshane, gaze at each other, especially the throat of each other. Because this Adam's apple, it shows the intensity that they have for each other. Kantha kare nirikshane. Have you seen a peacock and peahen gaze at each other? And the peacock's color is similar to somebody's color. Whose color? And the peahen's golden color is similar to somebody's color. Whose color is that? So, dear devotees, Eka Dishti Kari Mayura Mayuri. Peacock and peahen. Kali Chandidas, he knows which language to use. So, gazing single pointedly at each other, the peacock and peahen, they simply keep gazing, they can't speak to each other. Chandidas kahe. Chandidas says, Nava Parichay, Kaliya Bandhur. This is the effect of budding affection, Purvaraga, for the newfound dark complexioned Krishna. This, dear devotees, is the condition of Sri Radha. Now, please tell me if any of you can find any such love in this world. Can this love be a product of this material world? See, if you are convinced about it, then you have understood that there is nothing like this to be found in this world. And when this conviction appears in the heart of a devotee, that is the day the devotee gradually starts giving up asha, the desire for attaining happiness in this world. Param drishtva nivartate, like Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. It's only by experiencing something higher that you can give up something lower. And this is Param, dear devotees. This is the topmost poet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you felt something in your hearts, dear devotees, you know that you were touched by a very small fraction of what is described in the Shastras as rasa. If you felt something within your hearts, if you felt some butterflies in your heart, know that you were touched by a very small portion of what the Shastras describe as rasa. By the impact of Sri Chandidasa's poetry, it is definitely possible. And dear devotees, rasa is non-different from Sri Krishna, because the Upanishads say, please repeat after me, Raso Vaisaha. If you are touched even by a small fragment of rasa, you were directly touched by whom? And therefore, Krishna says that wherever Katha is being spoken, it is possible that I may be present somewhere there. And in which form is Bhagwan present in the Katha? Rasa. Is he sitting, in which row is he sitting? Or is he sitting within each and everybody's heart in the form of the transcendental principle of rasa? Devotees, think about it. So, Mad Bhakta Yatra Gayanti, all of you sang, and because all of you sang, therefore Bhagwan may be present, isn't it? It is very much possible. Sri Rupa Goswami liked this verse so much, that he directly transported it into the Sanskrit language. Usually, the devotee Sri Rupa Goswami doesn't like to convert, he has his own original thoughts. But this one was such a genius thought that Sri Rupa Goswami has an equivalent verse in the Sanskrit language, dear devotees, and a uh, wonderful rhyming term at the end. Same meter, Shardul Vikriditam. Let's sing together, dear devotees. आहारे विरति समस्त विषय ग्रामे निवृत्ति परा न साग्रे नयनम यदे तदपरम यचैकतानं मना मौनं चेदमिदं च शून्यमखिलं यद्विश्वमाभाति ते राधे तद्वद योगिनी किमसि भो किं वा वियोगिन्यसि Ahare virati, you stopped eating. Same verse, dear devotees in Sanskrit. Ahare virati, you have stopped eating. Samasta vishaya, grame nivritti, you're detached from all sense objects. Supremely detached. Nasagre nayanam, your eyes are fixed on the tip of your nose. As you look in the sky, your eyes are fixed on the tip of your nose. Yadetadaparam, yachaikatanam mana, and your mind is single pointed now. Maunam chedamidam, you are keeping completely silent, not speaking to anybody. Shunyam akhilam, yad vishvamabhadite, the entire world appears void to you. Radhe tadvada, speak Radhe. Yogini kimasi are you a yogini? Kim va viyogini, or are you viyogini? Are you a yogini, an ascetic, or viyogini, a lady long separated from her lover? Who are you? And dear devotees, immediately after this verse in the Padyavali is another verse. Shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahename. The verse in the Shikshashtakam is immediately after this verse. So dear devotees, we have come to the point where what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to experience in the Gambhira. Please read the translation.
O Saki, you have no interest in food, and you possess a supreme detachment from all worldly matters. Your eyes are fixed on the tip of your nose in meditation, and your mind has become completely one-pointed. Because of this vow of silence you've taken, the entire world appears desolate to you. Therefore, O Radhe, tell me truly, are you a yogini or a viyogini, a woman suffering from the pangs of separation?
Hey, what happened to your voice? Okay, no problem. Anyways, dear devotees, now it is the glorious conclusion of Sri Rupa Goswami. Sri Rupa Goswami is unable to control himself. In Padyavali, he breaks his own rule and composes a new verse. And this is Sri Rupa Manjari speaking to Sri Radha, that this personality cannot be attained by simple hearted people. This personality is only for the crooked hearted. This verse is in the meter Upagiti Arya. I'll sing, please sing after me. Tvamasi Vishuddha Sarale. Tvamasi Vishuddha Sarale. Murali Vaktra Stridha Vakra. Murali Vaktra Stridha Vakra. Banguraya Khalu Sulabha. Banguraya Khalu Sulabha. Tadurasaki Vaijayantyeva. Tadurasaki Vaijayantyeva. Sri Rupa Manjari says to Sri Radha, Tvamasi Vishuddha Sarale. Oh, straightforward one. You are very pure at heart. You don't understand this person. Murali Vaktras, this person who's holding a flute to his mouth, Tridha Vakra, is bent in three places. So there is a rhyme in Vaktra and Vakra. This Murali Vaktra is Tridha Vakra, is threefold bent. Bhanguraya Khalu, if you want to attain his close association, if you want to touch him, Bhanguraya Khalu Sulabha, you have to become crooked like him. Tad Urah Sakhi Vaijayanti Eva. Look at the Vaijayanti on his chest. The garland. Is it straightforward or crooked? Please tell me. Say loudly. Huh? Therefore, she has attained the association of his chest. If you want to embrace him, you also will have to become like Vaijayanti. You can't remain simple. Right? This is the translation.
O simple-hearted Radha, you're supremely pure and straightforward in nature. For that Sri Krishna who holds the flute to his lips is crookedly bent in three places, Purvaraga. Therefore, his chest is accessible only to one who is crooked, just like his Vaijayanti flower garland.
So this wonderful verse composed by Srila Rupa Goswami himself in Padyavali. Anyways, we'll go back to Prema Pattanam. See, Prema Pattanam specifies another crookedness. Please repeat. Yatra Dukham Eva Sukham.
In this city of Prema, distress is the real happiness.
Dear devotees, are you ready? Should we open the gates of distress? We'll open it fully tomorrow. I'll just give a sneak peek today. Alright? I'll lay the foundation today. Distress is the real happiness. And dear devotees, there is a very famous literature named Sahitya Darpan, a literature in poetics, upon which Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan commented. The author of this literature is Sri Vishwanath Kaviraj, different from Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Sri Vishwanath Kaviraj, who came from Odisha, from the state of Odisha, from Jagannath Puri. He composed this wonderful literature. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all studied this literature. In this literature, there is one very important principle given. Please sing after me. Karunadavapirase Jayate Yat Param Sukham Sachetasam Anubhava Pramanam Tatra Kevalam. Karunadavapirase, in sad rasas such as Karun rasa, mellow of piteousness, Jayate Param Sukham, supreme bliss arises. Now, some of you may say, we don't believe this. I'll give you a simple example of this. In my childhood, my father took me to watch many dramas. And there's a difference between a drama and a movie. In a drama, every time you have to play it live. So the rasas come out live in a drama. And in a movie, it is sort of a dead medium because it's already pre-recorded. So you know there's nobody real on the stage. Another difference is that in a drama, the seats closest to the stage cost the greatest. And in a movie, the seats further away from the stage cost the greatest. So that's how impersonal mediums work. The further you are away from them, the more valuable they become. But anyways, In a drama, the closer you are sitting to the stage, a stage is called Rangamanch. Rangamanch is, Ranga means color, and different rasas have different colors. So this is the stage from which different colors are thrown on the audience. The audience gets colored in different colors. This Rangamanch. So there was the drama of Sri Ram, and then there was this extremely sad scene of Bhagwan Ram in the forest, and Bharat coming and trying to convince him to go back to the kingdom of Ayodhya. Bharat comes to know later that my brother Sri Ram has been banished. So Bharat comes looking for Sri Ram in the forest, finds him in the forest, and then Bharat tries to convince him, gives many arguments. But please tell me, dear devotees, does Sri Ram say yes or does he say no? No, I won't come back. So finally, Bharat convinces him to give his footwear, and Bharat places the footwear on his head, and with that footwear on his head, he turns around. So as soon as he turns around, dear devotees, in the direction of Ayodhya, it is an indication that Bhagwan Ram will not return for 14 years now. All efforts of convincing him have failed. As soon as he turns towards Ayodhya, all the residents of Ayodhya who were on the stage, they start crying. And at that time, I saw a person next to me was also crying. Many years later, I remembered this. A question to be asked is, his brother is sitting right next to him. Why is he crying? This is the first question. So, the reason is because the principle of rasa is flowing, and because of this, he is able to experience a generalized version of the same emotion that the actors are experiencing on the stage. Ras itself is a transcendental principle. There is nothing mundane about rasa, even in this world. After the drama is over, people come out and say, "What a wonderful drama it was. I'd like to watch it again." But was it happiness or suffering? Please tell me. If it was suffering, why would you like to watch it again? So, please repeat after me. करुणादावपि रसे जायते यत्परं सुखं सचेतसाम् अनुभव प्रमाणं तत्र केवलम्.
In the experience of Karuna Ras, the mellow of piteousness, supreme bliss arises. The only proof of this is the experience of the expert, like-minded connoisseurs of rasa.
Yeah, they want to see that again and again and wish to experience that Karun Ras, suffering again and again. Which human in this world wants to experience the same suffering again and again? Please tell me. Would any of you want to go back to your childhood and experience the pain of all the teeth falling out again? Please raise your hands. No? So, what is it in rasa that makes you experience the same pain again and again? Because when pain goes through the framework of rasa, it turns into the supreme bliss. And this supreme bliss is something which the jiva wants to relish again and again. Rasam hi eva ayam labdhva anandi bhavati. It's only after attaining rasa that the jiva becomes happy. And therefore, he says, please repeat, Kinchateshu yada dukkham nakopi syat tadunmukha. Kinchateshu yada dukkham. If there would be the experience of actual material distress in these pastimes, na kopi syat tadunmukha. Nobody would become inclined towards them. This is Acharya Vishwanath Kaviraj speaking in Sahitya Darpan. Nobody will become inclined to the pastimes of Bhagwan if there is actual experience of material misery in such pastimes. So please tell me, when pastimes depict separation, is it misery or happiness? What is it? Please think and say loudly. Is it misery or happiness? So this is the crooked nature of Prema. Shri Vishwanath Kaviraj continues. Ashrupatadayastadva Drutatva Chetaso Mata. Ashrupat, falling of tears, etc., in such narrations is due to melting of heart in happiness. Dear devotees, not due to material distress. Hence, the experience is complete bliss. The experience is not material misery. Now, how many of us would like to experience this misery? Please raise your hands. Oh, wonderful. Huh? So, tomorrow I will make all of you miserable. All right? Which is my standard nature. I love to make people miserable. Huh? But before I conclude, I would like to show a newly composed verse if I have your permission, dear devotee. Is it okay? Huh? All right, dear devotees. This is a verse of new composition. The verse is in the meter Shardul Vikriditam, same as Shad Goswami Ashtakam. Shri Radha Sarala Dribhanga Vapusha Sakam Dvaya Samsthita Hastam sadadadi davan rajukache tvasaukyame vechati saukyame vechati दृष्ट्वा ताम्रदिनैरवेक्ष्यमिह ते जानेन दामोदर कौटिल्यं खलु कुत्र तेस्ति परमं देहे कचे वारदि Sri Radha Sarala. Sri Radha is very straightforward. Even in her standing position, dear devotees, is she crooked or straightforward? Straight. But Tribhanga Vapusha Sakam Tvaya. Look at him. She's standing with him who is bent in three places. His body itself is crooked. Hastam Sa Dadati. As she runs her hand, Tava Anruju Kache, through your hair, she realizes not only is the body crooked, the hair is also crooked. As she runs her hand through her hair, she realizes that the hair is also crooked. But so much crookedness is there in your body and hair, still, Tvat Saukhyam Eva Ichhati. She only desires your happiness, even though you are so crooked. Still, Drishtva Tam Prati Nairapeksham, but still, seeing your neglectful behavior towards her, Jane na Damodar, I don't know Damodar, what to say. Kautilyam Khalu Kutra Testi Paramam. Where exactly within you is the highest crookedness? Dehe is the highest crookedness within your body. Kache is the highest crookedness within your hair. Vahridi, or is the highest crookedness within your heart? I am unable to understand where the highest crookedness lies.
Shri Radha is standing in a straightforward manner with you, whose body is curved in three places. As she runs her hand through your curly hair, she only desires your happiness. O Damodara, seeing your neglectful behavior towards her, I am unable to decide where exactly the highest degree of crookedness lies within you. Does it lie within your body, your hair, or your heart?
But now I understood. Hridaye yasya kautilyam hare tishtati sarvada deha keshadi sarvam vai tasyatra kutilayate. Hridaya yasya kautilyam. When crookedness is there in the heart of a person, hare, automatically his body, his hair start attaining crookedness. I have realized this today.
Now I understood. O Hari, when crookedness resides constantly in a person's heart, everything related to him, his body, his hair, etc., automatically start attaining crookedness.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki yadatra skalitam kinchit vidvam sah purayantu tat yadatra saushthavam kinchit tad guroreva me nahi yadatra skalitam kinchit. The crooked person that I am, I must have slipped many times while describing these pathways of Prema. If I have slipped vidvamsa, your learned devotees, purayantu tat, please pick me up and Please correct the mistakes. Yadatra saushthavam kinchit. But if there's anything nice, please remember Tad Guru Reva. It belongs to my Guru Janas. May nahi. It doesn't belong to me. Thank you very much, everybody. Hare Krishna. All right. So, Gaura Hari Prabhu. So, should we pause or is there some time? Okay, we will pause. No. This crookedness. From where did you learn this crookedness? Whose association are you in nowadays that you are learning? Okay, sure. Wonderful. So now is the time for Q&A. Anybody would like to? Oh, Maharaj, let's give the mic to Maharaj. Now we need some simplicity, so let's give the mic to Maharaj. Okay.
Hare Krishna, wonderful, wonderful. Really very satisfying to hear also the first glance. Kataksha. I have one very quick question. What is the Sanskrit word for a stage? Ranga
Ranga Mancha.
Mancha.
Yeah.
Thank you. And now the extra question. This word Nibanda has crossed my eyes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where the Mahaprabhu says we should chant the Mahamantra with the Nibanda. And that is a very wonderful explanation which you gave, that determination which we can see in a body, in a person who has been body shamed and has now made the determination, okay, I finally will not eat pizza in the evening, because it's like this. Now, I would like to know, given your explanation, how this type of nirvana arises in the heart of a conditioned soul in relationship to Krishna. You have spoken about the power of hearing, the developing of the higher taste, and then one wishes the higher taste. Is why do I ask this? So many people fail because they cannot find this nirvana, and then they do things out of duty. It's painful for them, it's difficult for them, and finally they leave it. So, as preachers, I'm wondering, as a preacher, how can we help? What makes this nirvana arise in a person's life?
So what helps Nirbandha arise within the heart? In some ways, we cannot give. I tried to pinpoint if there is a certain set of conditions. And truly speaking, Nirbandha arises when a person is finally ready for receiving bhakti and they meet the perfect person who can train them accordingly on the path without misinforming them about the concepts of bhakti. It's a very personal determination, this nirbandha. And I will first show the English translation of the term nirbandha, then I'd like to say more. I am magnifying using the magnifier. Yeah. This is Monier Williams. We can see here the term is nirbandha above, and we can see I am highlighting the three meanings which are important here. What are the three meanings, dear devotees? Pertinacity, obstinacy, perseverance. So even Monier Williams had to put three words together in order to describe what is nirbandha. So P-O-P. Pertinacy, obstinacy, perseverance. Maybe all of them combine together and they give rise to nirbandha. But this arises only when a devotee, when Bhagwan is merciful enough on a devotee and the required saintly association comes to such a devotee. There is only one verse that I can think of, and 10:51-53. भवापवर्गो भ्रमतो यदा भवे जनस्य तर्ह्यच्युत सत्समागमः सत्संगमो यर्हि तदैव सद्गतौ परावरेशे त्वयि जायते मतिः. This last part, त्वयि जायते मति, fixed intelligence in you arises. That is the part I want to highlight here. So please read the translation, Prabhu.
When the material life of a wandering soul has ceased, O Achyuta, he may attain the association of your devotees. And when he associates with them, there awakens in him devotion unto you, who are the goal of the devotees and the Lord of all causes and their effects.
So he may attain the association of your devotees when finally Bhagwan is merciful upon certain person. And even after attaining sadhu sangha, not everybody gets nirbandha. Another classic example of nirbandha is there in Mahabharata, when Dronacharya is teaching archery to all the Pandavas and Kauravas. And he asks that you have to shoot the eye of the, there is a tail like folk tail, like you have to shoot the eye of the bird. And then he asks Duryodhan, what do you see? He says, I see the bird and the tree around it and everything. So you don't shoot. And he asks others, what do you see? I see the entire bird. No, you don't shoot. Then he asks Arjun, what do you see? I see the eye of the bird. Anything else? No, you shoot. And only Arjun is able to pierce the mark. And it was only this teaching which helped Arjun to pierce the mark during the Swayamvar of Draupadi. Nobody else was selected. Only Arjun was selected for piercing the target on behalf of the Pandavas. Because Arjun had nirbandha while learning archery. So I don't, these are some, he got many people got Dronacharya as guru, but one of them had nirbandha. So we have the hope that we will be that one person who has that nirbandha. So based on this hope, we move ahead in our spiritual life. So satsanga, by good association, it can arise. It cannot arise by giving a lecture about nirbandha. This I'll tell you. It cannot arise by giving a lecture about nirbandha. The guru's words may be like fire, but the disciple's heart should be like that of a forest in order to catch that fire. But if the disciple's heart is like that of a forest on which rainfall has just fallen, no matter how much the guru tries, it will not ignite. So this is very important to understand. Maharaj, this is how far my intelligence can take me in this department. Maybe there are Vaishnavas who have a better answer than me. But this is how far my intelligence can take me in this department. So I hope that satisfies your query. Yeah? Okay, we'll go here and then we'll come back here. Yes. Gauravi Prabhu, are there two mics or one mic? Okay, no problem. Please, please.
Thank you. Maharaj, this was exactly the point that I wanted to talk about, and you asked it in such a nice way that gave me more of an idea of what I'm asking. Nirbandha there's a nuance between what drives us to this point, this POP.
Right.
There's a point to drive us there.
Yeah.
Now, they always talk about the different ways of coming to bhakti. And you had also said that it's highly personal for each and every devotee who comes to that position. If I need to be clear about what nirbandha is it the desire, or is it the circumstances that cause you to have the desire? So some people come to bhakti just because they're born in some sort of situation which opens the door and they're able to receive. Others receive it through the gift of desperation, of being pounded into submission. So is nirbandha what happens after, or is it the desire itself?
Nirbandha is the desire itself. Because if you pinpoint nirbandha upon the conditions which drive the desire, then as soon as the conditions are removed, the nirbandha will go away. Maybe somebody became a devotee because of dire circumstances. But after becoming a devotee, circumstances changed.
But isn't that where then bhakti grows?
Bhakti will grow. Bhakti will grow anyway. But we want a very specific type of bhakti. Not just bhakti that grows in all direction. We want bhakti that grows in one specific direction.
So the nirbandha can also, it's not static. The nirbandha is definitely something that...
It's like a thread that walks through each and every stage of your bhakti and it drives you. Well, I will show you another verse. It's in the beginning of the Bhakti Sandarbha where Sri Jiva Goswami says something. Dear devotees, please repeat after me. अनेक जन्म जनिता पुण्य राशि फलम सत्संग शास्त्र श्रवणाद एव प्रेमादि जायते. अनेक जन्म janita, a living entity has to spend many lives in the material world without bhakti. And that is where the avalanche starts forming. In many previous lives which were spent without bhakti. Little contact with the devotees. Somebody took some prashad, somebody came to the temple once, somebody like that. Little contact. Gradually, phalam mahat, the great fruit of this entire avalanche, sat sangha, you will end up meeting one sadhu somewhere who will revolutionize your conceptions of bhakti. You understand that this is the arising of your good fortune. This point. Shastra Shravanad, and you get the opportunity to hear Shastra from that sadhu. Eva, that's it. Prema jayate. In that particular life, your intention will become one pointed towards this goal of life, Prema. So this is after many lives of and devotees we have already spent many lives. So it's not that we've already spent many lives, but in this devotee life, satsanga, that proper sadhu should come. And when that proper sadhu arrives, it will be done. The proper recipient is there, and the proper giver is there. Both of them come together to give nirbandha. And this nirbandha is what drives you throughout your spiritual life. Now, I don't know how better I can explain this. This is...
It's very clear.
Yeah.
Just if you allow me, just one more
Okay.
nuance. One more nuance.
Sure.
Is it gifted, nirbandha, or is it circumstantial, that something is driving you to have this nirbandha, or is it just a gift, or is it both?
Nirbandha cannot be produced by the movement of the material senses. If it is produced by material circumstances or movement of the material senses, it will become another material entity in the material world. There's your answer.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we'll come here. Okay. Yes, Prabhu. In the first Anuchhed of Bhakti Sandarbha, in the very beginning, he is quoting Brahma Vaivarta Puran. Yavat papais tumalinam hridayam tavadevahi. That's how two verses are quoted. I quoted the second one. Anek janma janita punya rashi phalam. You were. Acha.
I have a related question with
Oh, okay. Sure.
Thank you, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj, for bringing this wonderful point, and also to Mataji. Prabhuji, actually, I want to, I'm just correlating it. I don't know if I'm correct. Like you have taught in the Sri Sisthakam about the how we develop the real humility and this and you gave several examples, and one of the example is from Avantika Brahman, that he developed, he got a great misery in the life. He left, everything was lost from him, and finally he became Trinadapi Sunicena. So can we also understand Nirbandham in the same way, like he got Nirbandham at that stage of the life?
Yeah, he got nirbandha after suffering a lot. But this cannot be generalized. That everybody will have to suffer like him in order to get nirbandha. Because why we take the worst example and then we try applying it on ourselves. So, no. So it's very important. It's a very dynamic, because you can't make a mechanical formula out of nirbandha. If nirbandha comes by suffering, I'll start whipping myself today. Isn't it? Huh? It doesn't come by giving suffering to your own self. Even Avanti Brahman says something when he is suffering. I'll quickly pull out that chapter of Avanti Brahmana. I think it's 11.23. This is 11:23-28. Please read the translation, Prabhu.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Hari, who contains within himself all the demigods, must be satisfied with me. Indeed, he has brought me to this suffering condition and forced me to experience detachment, which is the boat to carry me over this ocean of material life.
So he's giving credit to suffering, or is he giving credit to Bhagwan? So this is what it is.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, we'll go here. Gaurari Prabhu, you tell me when to stop. Yes. Whenever I have spoken about Nirbandha, there have been many questions because it is such a point that devotees love to understand about it. Yes. Who has the mic? Yeah.
Thank you. Wonderful lecture. I would like to put another point to what Parishad Prabhu said, and that is so, and also your answer to me. So, if one has, for example, is feeling, okay, Bhagavan, there's a problem coming up in my life. I feel it, and I know you will arrange something to deal with it in the way that I need for my bhakti to progress. And then also something definitely happens, and then so I see it. Okay, it's Bhagavan. Thank you, Bhagavan. But still, it's that I was expecting like he would cut the material attachment completely, but somehow there's still something left. So then it's like, okay, Bhagavan, so what do you want me to do? Like wait more, or ask you to do the last cut, or what should be our attitude at that point of time towards Bhagavan?
So, I think the question is, through navigating through many material circumstances, how do we know whether what to say to Bhagwan? Give me more suffering, or is this enough? It is best not to speak to Bhagwan about any material suffering. You do what you want to do. That's it. The devotee is supposed to be absorbed in this universe, which we just absorbed ourselves in. All right. So once you are absorbed in that, then these things start affecting us lesser and lesser. That is the duty of a devotee. Because the 16th limb of bhakti is Shokadi Avashyavartita, to never become overcome by lamentation, anger, illusion, etc. This is one of the 64 limbs of bhakti. To remain happy is one of the 64 limbs of bhakti. And a devotee should do everything to remain happy. Save your tears for Krishna Lila, they will fall short. Alright? Save your tears for Sri Krishna Lila. They will fall short in this particular Lila. And material world will take its own course. Alright? It will continue to take its own course. Let whatever happen, whatever happens, let it happen. Just do what is required for you to do and move ahead without engaging too much in the material world. This is the standard attitude of the devotees. This is what we want to attain. Gunairalam asankhyeyair mahatmyam tasya suchyate वासुदेवे भगवती यस्य नैसर्गिकी रति वासुदेवे भगवती यस्य नैसर्गिकी रति. This is Prahlad Maharaj. He had naisargiki rati, organic, innate rati, attachment towards Bhagavan. And this is what we wish to have. It is translated here as he had unflinching faith in Vasudev and unalloyed devotion to him. So this is the translation. If you see the word for word, how is Naisargiki Rati translated in the word for word, dear devotees? Natural attachment. This Naisargiki Rati is what we are looking for. It cannot be forced, produced by any forcible endeavor. Naisargiki Rati, it has to be gifted. As Maharaj was saying yesterday evening in his class, it has to be gifted by somebody who already has it. So this is the conclusion of. Don't worry so much about material circumstances. They are ups and downs everywhere in life. So it is best to always keep progressing on the path of Rati. Right? Thank you. Yes, here. Okay. Acha, Prabhu was first. You can ask personally. Only easy questions, Prabhu, no difficult.
Prabhu.
Huh.
My question was like, you said we have to go for a specific kind of bhakti. I also read or heard that the rasa we are in is already determined, like in Dasya or Sakya.
Yeah.
But also I heard somewhere else that an expert chef can change your taste.
Oh, wonderful! Yeah.
So maybe you can like on this and.
So this is a commonly asked question, especially in our movement of devotees, and there are devotees who have many opinions about this. The acharyas have previous acharyas have sometimes said that the living entity has an eternal relationship with Krishna. So based on this, devotees think that my eternal mood with Krishna is already fixed. So this question opens another Pandora's box of questions after it. This is the first question for opening the Pandora's box. But I will only open the flap. Okay, I'll not open the entire box by answering your question. Okay? So if the rasa is eternally fixed, then there is no point of doing Krishna bhakti, because if you are eternally in Vaikuntha as Das, then what would be the point of being a member of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness? I hope you are able to understand. Because it's eternally fixed as a Das in Vaikuntha. Why are you trying to get attracted to Krishna here? Might as well go to a sampradaya where Bhagavan is worshipped in the form of a resident of Vaikuntha. So the only reason why we all try to worship Shri Krishna is because by the arrangement, just as by the influence of an expert chef, one's taste in bhojan rasa, food rasa, can change. Similarly, by the influence of an expert devotee, one's taste on the path of bhakti can also be changed before you attain sthai bhav, before you attain the stage of bhav or prem. So that is the standard understanding in the sampradaya. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given this understanding in his uh, Rag Vartma Chandrika. So I will show you what Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in the Rag Vartma Chandrika. Yeah. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur says something. You have the mic, Prabhu. Please read.
Many sadhakas hear the character and pastimes of Nanda Maharaja Vatsalya, Subala Saka, Sakya, and attain specific delight in hearing such narrations. Sometimes they even show some momentary lobha or bhava. However, such lobha or bhava does not persist and is thus known as shanika, momentary.
Okay.
This type of bhava, lobha, will not do. At this time, it will be necessary to see the specific rasa, dasya, sakya, vatsalya, or madhurya, in which the sadhakas is naturally inclined.
Yeah, so the sadhak is gradually developing an inclination, and the guru has to check. This is what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. This is only for an advanced sadhak who has progressed to the path of rag. Most sadhakas should follow Vaidhi Bhakti and should not try to artificially imitate this. Right? So this is what another thing he says. Please read.
Only after checking the natural inclination of the sadhaka will the guru ask them to follow a particular bhava. Otherwise, an incorrectly, immaturely ascribed bhava will not persist. It is also incorrect to say that all sadhakas are potentially eligible for Madhurya Rasa.
So this morning I was saying there was some devotee who came to me and said, "Oh, Madhurya is the highest. You should propagate that." So I wanted to show this, but I did not show. Why? Because Brahma apitam naram. Even Brahma cannot convince certain people. Finally, what he says.
Gurus who aren't capable of determining eligibility of the disciple in a particular bhava should clearly instruct the disciple to take shelter of another capable guru. Besides taking shelter of a bona fide capable guru, there is no other way for the disciple.
So this is what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. This very clearly indicates that the expert chef influences the mood of the disciple. So this is what is given, clearly indicated in our own tradition. Right? So
if the guru is like in Sakya Rasa, he can tell the disciple to go to another Shiksha Guru who is in another rasa.
It has happened in the Sampradaya that Sri Hriday Chaitanya Prabhu was worshipper of Sakhyaras. His disciple, Dukhi Krishnadas, was instructed in Sakhyaras but could not align with it. So he took Shiksha from Srila Jiva Goswami in Madhurya Ras, and therefore, as a Shiksha Guru, the Guru can tell that there is some other Vaishnava who is more capable. So you please go and approach and take Shiksha from that particular Guru. It is always, but the Guru has to allow. Right? So this is, and the disciple has to do it very quietly, not making a big show out of it. These are very private things, and one should do all these things privately without telling anybody else, between the Guru and the disciple. That is what it is. Right? Yeah, and all disciples should not go harass their Guru. Am I eligible for this? Right? It is only after one has a particular type of taste and one has a particular type of inclination that one should try to ask the Guru about it. And that is what can be said. All right. Should we pause or last question?
Because it's Paramakrona, I think we leave him the last question.
Okay. Who has the last question on that side? Acha, okay, sure.
Not a hard one at all. In that picture you showed the crooked garland or the
Vaijayanti.
Vaijayanti mala.
Yeah.
And but I was able to get the association of the chest of Sri Krishna. But the association of the lips is probably more important saw the crookedness in that. How to find crookedness in that.
So we have poets in the assembly, dear devotees. Sri Hari Suri specifies the reason for him picking up the flute. And it's a very sweet realization that he gives in Bhakti Rasayanam. I remember the first line. Perhaps I'll show tomorrow if I get the verse. Muktodayo janiyata sajadah kuvamsho. Wonderful verse in the meter Vasant Tilakam. He says, look at the flute. The name is Vamshi. Bamboo flute is called Vamshi. He said, look at its place of birth. Kuvamsha. The bamboo, it takes birth in the marshy area near the river, which is a very dirty area. It's called Kuvamsha. Kuvamsha means bad bamboo. Another meaning is Kuvamsha, bad family. Vamsha is also family. So he's very expert in playing on words. Mukto dayo janiyatah sa jadah kuvamsho. This inanimate Vamshi is born from Kuvamsha, from a low class family it has come. But because it was very dear, Bhagwan had unconditional mercy upon it. And Bhagwan saw that Muktodayo, in this Kuvamsha, in this bad family, some Muktas have arisen. Mukta means liberated people have. Another meaning of Mukta is pearls. Mukta Charit. So on the flute there are pearls at the end. You might have seen some pearls hang. So Bhagwan saw that this Vamshi has Muktas arising out of it. Another meaning, Bhagwan saw that this family, low class family, has Muktas, liberated souls arising from it. So Bhagwan became merciful on this Kuvamsha, on this bad family or on this bad bamboo, picked it up, put it next to his mouth, and blew within it the Maha Mantra directly from his mouth. So this is, I'll show the verse tomorrow. It's wonderful. So there are reasons why Bhagwan picked up the flute. If you sit with the devotee kavis, you will get all the reasons. So this is how, by discussing Hritkarana Rasayana Katha, Tajjoshanadashu, if you, repeatedly relish Apavarge Vartmani, Shraddha Ratir Bhaktir Anukramishyati, gradually, you have to sit with an expert like Sri Harishuri, with an expert like Srila Rupa Goswami. So you will be able to understand the potency of this katha. You will never find anything like this in the material world. And your material life will attain an end and you will get nirbandha. Krishna Sambandhe. Right. Jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So sorry for
Wonderful, wonderful. I just have, I don't know, this news will be cause of happiness or distress. Maybe you can help us, but we are actually coming to the middle of the retreat. One full day more at the ending day after tomorrow. So I don't know if we have this happiness or distress.
I will be liberated tomorrow.
So I'm happy. So just in seeing a little bit that we are coming to the second phase of the festival, I was requested from the Pujaari department to inform you if some of you would like to have some sandwiches or pizzas or whatever you want for your travel, you should please register today so that I can prepare everything. So even if it's not for travel, you're welcome anytime. Remember, Prabhuji was saying we should be careful with renunciation, to not be too renounced. So please feel free to visit my shop. And now prasadam is to be served.
Can I make a very quick? I want to say something. This is from my side. I am saying I was not told to say this. I am saying this from my side. Goloka Dham is a very sweet community, and the devotees every year this retreat is organized, and therefore we can see it's a very simple place. And
in the middle of a forest, literally, dear devotees. Each and every contribution financially that we can give to Goloka Dham is very much appreciated. Rikta panirna pashyetam rajanam devatam gurum. One should not go empty handed in front of a king, in front of a deity, or in front of the guru. So for some of us, Maharaj is the Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru for all of us, but Devata Bhagwan Shri Krishna is also here. We should not come empty handed here, dear devotees. Before we go, please, whatever little you can contribute towards the project Goloka Dham, it would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Hare Krishna.